Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm delighted to introduce our speaker. This um, session will be a different one because instead of interviewing virtual assistants, we'll be having someone to help us thrive and become resilient as a virtual assistant. Mostly we have the foreign clients, which are Americans, so we are working at night, and she will be helping us about prioritizing our well being, taking care of ourselves better. So, she is a highly accomplished diplomat and advocate for women's empowerment. She holds a certificate in international relations and diplomacy with distinction and a first class degree in economics and law in society. As the head of Chancery at the Nigerian Embassy in Guinea-Bissau and a seasoned foreign service officer, she has excelled in international negotiations and strategic planning. Her impactful work includes significant contributions to women's empowerment and rural development, notably as the interim executive director for the Better Life program for the African rural
Mhm,
woman, where she led
mhm.
health outreaches and economic empowerment projects. Ms. Barbara, we know mental health, self care, and well being are vital as modern life grows more demanding. Advocating for these essential pillars of human thriving is more timely than ever. So, before we dive in, um, can you please tell me first what's one passion outside of your professional life that truly recharges and inspires you? Welcome, Ms.
Interior
Barbara. Sorry
design.
about that.
Before we even start,
I forgot to
I
introduce
was
you.
already screaming what I love outside of my work.
Wait,
Um,
let me introduce you to all you viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Barbara Young
thank
Utiaruk.
you.
Thank you so much for
It's
being
your
here.
yes.
Go ahead. Sorry about
Thank you
that.
for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here as always because I spend almost all of my time talking about mothers and women because I am fiercely passionate about it.
Yeah.
But I am so honored to be in this new space because it's
Welcome.
something that I already started studying about, the remote workspace, informal economy. And so when you sent me a message, I thought, nice. I was so excited. So
Awesome.
I'm happy, honored to be here, Katrina. Thank you so much.
Okay, can you please tell me something first outside of your professional life, like what energizes you, what recharges you, maybe your family, spending time with loved ones? Go ahead.
Um, well, of course, apart from my family, I mean, I love spending time with my family. I think that is actually one thing that excites me. But for me as a person, I love beautiful spaces. I am in love with interior design. It's funny because when I was in school, I was in Canada then. I was living in Canada and I was studying at the university. And I also started taking classes in interior design.
Mm.
And my mom said, ugh, this thing is messing with your education. And, African parents, if
Yeah.
you're not studying, medicine, accounting, economics, engineering, law, you're
Yeah.
not doing anything. And so I had to just put that aside and just enjoy interior design from afar. But yes, interior design.
Interior design. So, one personal reason why I'm reaching out to African people is that my boyfriend is actually Nigerian. He graduated from a mission school there and now serving in our church sector in Liberia. So, okay, that's a side note. So, let's go. So, your mission is to rewrite the future of work for women in Nigeria and across Africa. To help us
Yeah.
understand the landscape you're transforming, could you briefly outline the current work systems for women in Nigeria and across African continent, highlighting both the main challenges and opportunities they face?
Um, you know, there's a reason. Let me just start with this. There's a reason I decided to focus on Nigeria and Africa. We have our peculiarities, our uniqueness. The work system here is is still quite rigid,
Mm,
linear. you know um there isn't, I mean, it's opening up now, but we still have a lot of rigidity. There isn't much flexibility in the system, so we still have a lot of 9 to 5. Whereas in the Western world, and even in the Philippines, in Malaysia, you have a lot of people who are engaged in remote work, you know, over there. But here we do have remote work, but for people who are seeking opportunities from the Western world. So now flexibility in the workplace is just coming up, where you have um, you're employed by a company, but you work strictly from home. Some companies do uh, accept, entertain hybrid work systems, but we're just starting with that now. Um, there's also not enough maternity protection,
mm,
not enough social protection for workers. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity, for that. But in the African workplace, we're still also rewarding overwork as
mm,
opposed to,
yeah.
your output, your results, um, as opposed to impact. We're still rewarding overwork. So that is where we currently are. But I must say that there are quite a number of people and organizations who are pushing for change,
Yeah.
who are pushing for systems that meet our current reality, global reality. So yeah, that's where we currently are.
Thank you for sharing. I really admire your advocacy, your passion for helping women, and we are all making it a goal to have work-life balance wherever,
Yes.
right? So that's, I mean, the future of our work system for sure. So at Thrive Freelancing Academy, we equip virtual assistants with more than just skills. We build resilience and self-care strategies so they can truly thrive, not just survive in the demanding virtual assistant world. A thriving VA is a sustainable and exceptional VA. So question, how does Set to Flourish advise organizations in designing policies and structures that specifically support the well-being needs of night shift? But you mentioned that you have not encountered um, you know um, um, a virtual assistance yet, but this is,
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
hoping you can consider maybe in the future, because this is really the future of the work system.
That's
So
right.
yeah, how
That's
do you
right.
ensure they don't have to choose between career growth and personal health? Just for like
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, your plan when you talk to a virtual assistant, how would you mentor
Of
them?
course, of course. Great question. And as I said before, I am thrilled that I'm having to be here because, as you've rightly said, this is the future. I mean, it's no longer the future, it's here.
Yeah.
And we need to take it more seriously. And even though I haven't worked with VAs personally, or I haven't worked with organizations that do hire VAs. I've worked with, and I've spent quite a number of years working with ambitious women, young women, studying processes and working with them, women from high pressure, low support environments. And I must say that the patterns that I've noticed cut across work roles across industries, and of course, into the remote workspace, into the VA, virtual assistance workspace. So, if I'm going to advise organizations in this space on how to ensure that their policies don't compel their workers to choose between personal growth and their well-being, their health, their career growth, I would say there's something that just encompasses everything. Design policies that are human-centered. That must be the core focus. We live in a world where there's rush, 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 go, go, go,
Yeah.
make profit, make profit, make profit. I understand. That is why business exists. Even kingdom businesses exist to make profit. However, when you design policies, design human centered policies that take the needs of the people, of the employees into consideration. So you ask questions like, are my policies rewarding overwork? Or are my policies actually focused on helping the employees recover after work? Do my policies recognize and take into consideration the health needs of my workers? Do they do that? Do my do my policies reward or ignore the 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 concerns of my people? Do they feel seen? Do they feel heard? Not just used. You need to have a well-being framework that listens to your people. The only way you can have policies like that is if you create a culture that rewards, that accepts feedback. So that must be embedded in your policy. Design policies, design human-centric policies that put well-being at the core of your system
Mhm.
and accept feedback culture to be able to improve that system as time progresses. So that is exactly what I would advise.
Mm-mm. Thank you so much. So, for the existing challenges of virtual assistants, it's actually being isolated and having a nocturnal work. But I'm also grateful that I was able to find an Australian account, which is really very close to the Philippine time, morning time. So, I'm
Yeah.
really, really grateful for that. And I just want to say that um one of the benefits they're considering are to give the virtual assistants are having the HMO insurances so they can keep the virtual assistants, and that I think are
Mhm.
very good protocols or steps the employers or agencies would take. So moving forward, so overwhelm and strained performance are common. How does set to flourish help companies identify and mitigate stressors for night shift days, or maybe um that's your future goal? And what practical tools do you provide for virtual assistants to proactively manage their well-being?
Okay. Now, um, there are so many, there's so many facets to this. So for this, are we talking about overwhelm, or are we talking about burnout? Or are we talking, because there's so many ways to handle all the different things. So for this question you're asking me now, what exactly are you asking to
Mm,
be resolved? Is
it's
it overwhelm? Is
yeah,
it burnout? Is it
it's basically more of feeling overwhelmed. Yeah.
overwhelm? Okay, now a lot of people misunderstand overwhelm. Overwhelm is a symptom of something. Overwhelm is what happens as a result of something not working. So, for you to be able to handle overwhelm, you must get to the root of the problem, the root of the issue. When people are overwhelmed, and this happens anywhere, in any organization, It means there's a lot going on and nothing is clear. There's no clarity. And you also have blurred boundaries. Now, when you have these two things, it's like you have a room with mess. Everywhere is messy. You don't know where to start. That is overwhelm and it's draining. So, to be able to resolve that, you have to ask the right questions and encourage your people, your employees to ask themselves, like self reflection, ask themselves the right questions so that they can provide the right feedback. First, what drains you the most? You note it down. What must I do now? What is most pressing for me to attend to? You note it down. What can I leave for later? You note it down. What can I need or what can I ask permission for to be able to just put on hold first? So by doing all these, by asking these questions, you are sorting out things. You are sorting out the mess. You are creating some form of order so that you can begin to understand how to handle each one. Now, when a VA understands the mess in front of her, okay, I need to do this now. This can wait until later. Let's put this on hold until when I'm done with these. Oh, this is really draining. I would rather not have to do this. It helps her see her day more clearly and she can handle things with precision. It's clear. She knows exactly what to do now and when to do it. That is the easiest. It's amazing how effective it is when people can see clearly what needs to be done.
Mhm.
But they actually need to sort through the mess by asking these questions that I've mentioned.
Mm. So thank you so much for sharing about that. I was just realizing from the overwhelm topic and then how to figure out um what's the root cause of this overwhelm. The reason most virtual assistants are having is just lacking sleep. And I was like listening to a video with Mel Robin interviewing a neuroscientist, like how important sleep is for the brain to process information,
Yes, yes,
memories, and all that. So,
yes,
I mean, I'm grateful personally. Like, I was able to talk to my mom that we don't need to really earn big, running after the big amount of dollars. But whatever
yes.
job you can have, it's okay as long
Mhm.
as we're able to
Yes,
meet our, pay for our bills, buy food. It's
yes,
okay.
yes, yes.
The extra or the extravagance of life is not really important as long as we have each other as a family.
Mhm,
So for virtual assistants, that's what's really enticing them. The dollars, the big amount
mhm,
of money in
mhm,
exchange
mhm.
with the quality sleep that they would have. So
Yes,
how would we advocate, because parents, especially, yeah, with little kids, they would want to hustle in exchange, in detriment, you know detrimental effect to their health. How could
yes.
we advocate more of having quality sleep or time with family than hustling really hard, chasing, dollars and big amount of earnings? Go ahead, Miss Barbara.
Okay. Now, this can have two methods of approach because if you're going to set up a system that fosters um, I could call it work-life balance. I could call it that. If we're going to promote this kind of system where they're not just hustling, 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 it's a two-pronged approach. One side for the organization, one side for the individual. Now, in the organization, like I keep saying, The policies must be there. However, the policy is just paper. How you implement is now the beginning of how this would work. So, number one, do not do, and this is very important because I find companies in capitalist societies, and not just capitalist societies, but I find a lot of companies pushing more dollars, more money. Stick to a decent amount of work hours. You see that extended hours thing? No. Why do people have to work 12 hours? Come on. 40 hours a week is decent. People are more productive when they don't have to work such extended hours anyway. So stick to a decent number of work hours. Don't overwork people. People are more creative in their rest time. Funny enough, not when they're working, when they're at rest. So give people time to rest. When a VA works 8 hours, 8 hour night shift, give her or him a recovery window. After the shift, check in on your VA. It can be a voice note. It doesn't have to be a video call. Video call can be, pressurizing for some people. Audio, how are you feeling? Train your managers to ask the right questions. What can I do to help you? What can I do to take off the pressure today that will make you feel better? You see, these little check ins make people feel like they have support. So reduce the hours. If you own a company, you're listening to me right now, and you're trying also to find out the answers to this, I'll tell you, do not overwork your people. Number one, check in on your people. Have a wellness audit system. Set in your policy. Have wellness metrics. Don't just assess for performance. Assess for how well they are feeling. This way, they have time, they think that they're important. It's very important when your people feel that they're important to you. And the only way people will ever feel they're important is when they don't feel like they're being used. Even machines break down.
Yeah.
So let them know you can hear them, you can see them. Model vulnerability. Let them see the human side of you. Put human back in your workflow by doing these things that I've said. Don't overwork them. Give them recovery time. Let them have, short check-ins. Check in on your people. Have wellness metrics embedded in your performance review processes. These are easy ways that you get to find out how your people are doing and improve and keep going. Because I can give you theories from now till tomorrow, but these that I've given you are the starting point. Everything else must come from your people. Your people tell you how they're feeling. Your people tell you what you are not doing right and what they would appreciate you do. Then you have dialogue. Then you speak, you talk, and you come to a reasonable, sustainable way to advance. So, yes, that's it.
I'm smiling all this time because I'm loving what I'm hearing. Like if all leaders are have the same mindset as you are, we would be sure we have better retention of employees. Virtual assistant would
Yes.
love would be looking forward to work for our clients. So thank you so much. I mean, for our last question, so you also prioritize women empowerment. So you also envision ambitious mothers commanding, not just coping. So for example, for the virtual assistants with unconventional hours, how do you ensure they feel seen, supported, and empowered to maximize potential without sacrificing well being, especially when their traditional support systems are unavailable? So, you mentioned about managers, employers checking on them, having the wellness metrics. Aside
Mhm,
from
mhm.
this, what else can employers or managers do?
Give them a say. You see, this thing about remote work, I'm sorry, I'm going to speak extensively on this because this is something I've thought about for years, actually. Remote work can be lonely,
Yeah.
not to mention nighttime shift, graveyard work. They're the only ones awake. It can be really lonely. So give them, make them feel, not just make them feel, ensure that they are a part of the process in determining how their work hours are designed. So, if they're meant to work 8 hours, maybe you could break it down into, you could let them decide which hours are for deep work, which hours are for admin, which, like that. Let them include them in the process of determining how their work hours will be designed, their working hours, how it will be designed. Two, create a pair space for them. They're alone. And like I keep pointing out, the basis of everything I talk about is humanity, human centric systems. Now, when VAs are working, they're alone.
Yeah.
So you need to connect them back with people. They need to socialize. And
Yeah.
when I say socialize, they need to connect with their peers. They need to be able to vent. Oh my God. Oh, oh, that. Oh. They need that space. Look, trust me. They need the space to be able to let it out. And with people who understand. It's one thing when they just hang out with their friends, they talk and talk and talk. Yes, their friends, their families will give them solace. Yes, they'll give them hugs. Yes. But do they really understand what they're going through? Probably not.
Mm-mm.
So you need to create a peer space for them where they can vent, where they can talk, where they can connect with their colleagues, where they can suggest they can give ideas, they can make suggestions in terms of how the current workplace culture, their workplace culture, or their policies can be reimagined, can be reworked to make it work for them better. Lastly, celebrate their personal wins for goodness sake. Don't just celebrate them because they've completed your tasks,
Yeah.
they've reached a milestone. No, make them feel like you actually care for them. So that means celebrate their personal wins. Oh, Trisha did this today. Oh, she did this last week. Oh, Trisha feels like, oh, wow, I'm part of a team. And Trisha would enjoy working there. Nobody, and I will tell you, nobody enjoys feeling neglected.
Yeah.
When people feel like you take their concerns, their issues, their lives, what they like, what they don't like, when they see that you take it seriously, it's important to you, they like you. You don't have to force it. They like you. It's human nature. So just little tweaks here and there, like I've just mentioned, these three, huge shifts. Try it to those of you
Yeah.
listening.
Thank you so much. Navigating the virtual world and even the in-person jobs, because I was like looking um this recent months. what really helped me become a thriving, person, individual, resilient, I believe is you mentioned about the kingdom, having that great connection with our creator, the Lord, having fellowship regularly, being able to serve in the
Mhm.
ministry, it what makes me sane as a person. And then
Yes,
having that
yes,
mission every day. Oh, it's a great day. It's another day to glorify God with whatever I
yeah,
do. Maybe it's just be chores, just spending time with friends or family. I mean, just being joyful is also obedience, right? So
yes,
um
yes.
just for last words, I believe also that you are a believer. So um what's your last tips to individuals to be able to have more sleep, prioritize work life balance, and be at their most high performing selves, in the workplace or maybe in the family or in the ministry?
For me,
Yes.
and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Jesus lover, which I am. I'm not just saying this because of that, but because I think this is how it should be.
Yeah.
Prioritize rest. Don't chase. See, you can chase ambition. Chase, 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 chase. You spend decades doing that. I can guarantee you, you will sit down one day and you look at yourself and you say, what is all this I've been doing? What is the purpose of all this I'm
Yeah.
doing? We all need money to survive. No one is arguing that. We
Mm-mm.
all want a good life. Yes, I mean, I like my soft life, but soft life for me first is rest, ease. Without health, there's this saying that goes, a healthy person has 1,000 demands. A sick person has just one, to be healthy.
Yeah.
Don't ever push yourself. Chase what the world wants you to chase. Chase money, chase. You're not supposed to chase. You have a job, do well, seek advancement, of course, of course. Reach the pinnacle of your career. Yes, but you can do that with rest and ease. So this is what I stand for. It's my mantra. And this is what I'm actually out into the world. I would say this is my ministry, so to speak. It's my purpose. It's my calling. It's what I'm here to do. I am here to preach. Do not stop chasing ambition. Stop chasing. Yes, rise. Be the best you can be because that's what you're supposed to be. Like the parable of the talents. You're giving something. Yes, you're meant to multiply. You're not meant to just keep it, but you can do that without losing yourself
Yeah.
in the process. So rest, be with family, be with friends, surround yourself with what energizes you purely, in truth, nothing else. And believe me, things just come. Ideas come. During rest,
Yeah.
ideas. You become way more creative.
Yes.
Life becomes more enjoyable
Right.
because now you're living with purpose.
Amen.
So
Like
that's it for me.
I'm so happy. Like we just have the same spirit, passion for Jesus. And I hope you have a wonderful worship tomorrow. It's a
Thank
Sunday.
you.
And thank you
Yeah.
so much. I hope we can have a webinar more about how to prioritize well-being in the future. And I'm so grateful with LinkedIn, like, just reading about how to become a leader in our own
Yeah.
ways and prioritizing work-life balance and connecting with
I would love
professionals
that.
who have the same passion. Thank you so much. That's all for
You're
today's
welcome.
episode.
Thank you.
My
Thank
sincere
God.
thanks to Miss Barbara for her valuable contribution. If you found this
Thank you.
helpful, please like and subscribe. Join us again next time for more. Farewell for now. Thank you, Miss
That's right.
Barbara. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.